to start this practice with this intention of being open to what's there. Let it come up and look at it. Observe yourself. We're learning about ourselves. By the end of this practice, I would like you the joys of being at home. I would like you to be able to reflect on this journey for the next hour and 15 minutes or so, and ask, what did I learn about myself today? What did I learn about my body, about my mind? What did I learn? And then let's join the hands together at the heart center in remembrance of the practice always has a heart quality. Always has a heart quality. More compassion and sweetness. Good. And I thank you all for being here. Namaste to each and every one of you. We'll have a really nice, nourishing practice today. We'll begin with Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. This is going to help bring balance right away to whatever emotions might be unsettled. And just balances out our nervous systems. Beautiful, beautiful practice. We actually prescribe this pranayama exercise in my practice, in my Ayurvedic practice. We prescribe pranayama to clients. So doing this 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes at night is a wonderful way to just create more balance. Okay, so let's just begin by taking a few rounds of deep belly breaths. This is a basic breath. It's the breath that all breath practices stems from. So if you want to place your hands on your belly, if that helps you, as a reminder to just let your belly relax into your hands. And then just fill up the belly, fill up the lungs on your in-breath. Let everything expand like a balloon. And then as you exhale, exhale from the upper chest all the way down into the lower belly and gently draw the navel in and up towards the spine. And do that just a couple more times on your own. If you don't need that reminder of the hands, that's fine. Creating a nice, steady, rhythmic cadence. One more breath. And then I'm not going to mirror you for this. I'm going to use my right hand. So you'll use your dominant hand and block off the right nostril. If you're left-handed, you block off the left. And then inhale through that open nostril. And then gently block off that nostril, open up the opposite one, and exhale. Pause with the breath out. And then inhale. Pause with the breath in. Open up the opposite side. Exhale. Pausing. And then inhaling. Pausing at the top, full lungs. And then exhale, opposite side. Pausing with that breath out. And then deep inhale. Feel that cool air coming in. Close off and hold the breath in. And then exhale through the opposite side. Feel that warmth leaving the body, the heat leaving the body. And then inhaling that cool air. Good memories, good thoughts. Holding. And then exhale through the opposite side, letting go of the negativity, anything that's just not serving you or it's weighing you down. Let it leave through the exhale, through the warmth, the heat. And then continue this on your own. It's very nice and very powerful to bring in that intention when you're breathing. Breathing in the coolness, breathing in the positivity, and then exhaling all that's not that. The warmth, the heat, the inflammation. And then just continue this another minute or so. Another 30 seconds, you're almost there. Renew the length of your spine if you need to. If you find yourself slouching, sometimes we do that. Do one last round here, in and out both sides. And let's finish up exhaling through your left side. So take your time getting there. Don't rush it. Plenty of time. Good. And then once you're complete, just place the hands in your lap. And so this is the practice of slowing things down a little bit. Please do not push beyond your natural resistance. In fact, during an asana, during the posture, you should be able to smile with a nice calm expression on your face. So let's keep that in mind as we practice. That should be a nice rule every time we practice, so that we create balance. Okay? And view your postures as medicine and nothing else. Medicine, your prescription. On your next inhale, let's sweep the arms up nice and long, like you're moving through thick liquid. And just feel that nice stretch on the side bodies here. The ribs, the diaphragm. Take another full breath here, reaching through the fingertips. And then we're going to take an exhale as you twist towards the right. So hook your left hand on the outside of your right leg, and you'll notice that you might lean to the right. So once you have that grip, just pull the weight back into your left hip and left sit bone, so you have more of an anchored foundation through the sit bones, through the pelvis. And then lengthening up through the crown of your head, you're rooting down through the sit bones, and then twist. Now I'm going to have you stay in your twist, but take your eye gaze over your left shoulder, so that you can feel a stretch in your neck here even. Just a nice way to release any tension there. Let's take one more breath. I really enjoy this process of unwinding and slowing down. Good, and then we're going to unravel and reach the arms back up towards the ceiling. Take a moment there. Feel the lightness in your upper body. But there's a nice heaviness through the lower body. That's a wonderful thing. It keeps us grounded. Take one more inhale as you reach up, keeping your spine long. And then as you exhale, twist towards your left. Try not to get Quasimodo back here. Stay nice and lifted, nice and long. And then bring more weight to the right hip now. Twist, twist, twist to your own degree. Stay in that twist. And then take your eye gaze now over the right shoulder. But keep twisting left. So many little nerves and, oh my gosh, so much intricacy in and throughout the spine. One more breath here. Then take the chin down towards the throat just to feel a nice stretch through the back of your neck. So if you've been traveling or been under a certain amount of stress, you might hold it here. So you're going to feel a nice stretch back there. And then let's inhale as you look up and as far back that's comfortable for you. Don't force that. Just stretching the front of the neck and throat. And then exhale, chin down towards the throat. Again, squeezing. You're also stimulating the glands here in the throat. And then with the breath, you're going to inhale, look up, and as far back that's comfortable for you. And exhale, squeeze the chin down towards the throat. Go ahead and find your own little dance here with the movement and your breath pattern. Paying attention to your body's feedback. For me, I'm feeling a lot of tightness on one side over the other. So just observe that, where it is. Don't even try to figure it out. Just observe it and respect the body. All right, let's come back up through center, and then we're going to look over the right shoulder without letting your left shoulder follow. So keep your chest nice and full and square towards me, and then look over the right. Just until you feel the resistance. And then we'll do that same thing on the other side. Look over the left just until you feel the resistance, keeping your right shoulder back. And now with your breath, you're going to inhale. Remember, diaphragmatic breathing. Expand your belly as you look over the right. And gently contract the belly as you look over towards the left. So keep that going. And what you'll notice is that you have a tendency to only breathe in the upper portion of your chest and lungs. So we're really training ourselves to pull that breath down deep into the lower lobes. Let's do one more round. And then as you're complete with that, you'll come back through that neutral. And we're going to take a nice side stretch to the right. So bring your right hand out to the side. So you'll notice again, the left hip wants to lift up. I'm exaggerating just so you can see. But use your right hand to press that left hip back down and then reach up through those left fingertips. And that's going to really give you a nice opening right along the side of the body into the waist. The place where we get very, very tight from sitting, driving, even just standing a lot. And then let's come back up through center on the in-breath. Reach up so you get nice and long and spacious, and then we'll take it over to the left. And then using the left hand to push the right hip down as you reach up out of the waist. That's your anchor point, that hip, so that everything else can move away from that anchor point to create the desired opening. Nice, you guys. And then let's take it into a flow. Inhale up and exhale over to the right. And then inhaling up and exhale over to the left. So if I see any of you going like this really fast, that tells me that you're not breathing very deep. So try to keep the movement right connected to that breath. Good. One more round to the right and then to the left. It feels good, doesn't it? I mean, I love the side body stretching, especially in the morning. Okay, and then we'll come back up through center, very nice. Let's take the legs out wide. So they've been in that cross-leg position for a little bit. So take them out wide, let the blood rush into the legs, and even kind of shake out the feet a little bit and the legs. And what you'll notice is that if you have a really tight low back and legs, you might find yourself slouching. So you can use a blanket like I am, sit your hips up on that blanket, and then maybe even keep the hands back for support. Try that out. Let's bring the hands back, firm the legs, flex the feet. And then notice, do I bring my hands forward and start to round? Then you just stay right here with your hands back. It's plenty. It's plenty. And then if you can, maybe you can come forward a little, or maybe some of you are a lot. So just meet your body where you are in this moment. If you feel any pulling in your knees, then make sure the feet are flexed. You're engaging the muscles that surround the knees. That's really important. And just take a few moments. Maybe you can come into it a little bit deeper. Maybe you're at your edge. Just breathe. Breathe deep and full. This is the process of letting go of everything else just for right now. All the to-dos. Good. And then let's come back up through center. And then if you can remember, it'll be your funny side. So not your go-to. Cross the opposite foot in front. So it's going to feel, the one that feels weird. Right? And then just notice how that feels, right? One's hip feels a little bit tighter. And now let's reach the arms back up again. And we're going to take a side bend to the right. So reaching up and out of that left waist. We don't need to set it up now. You already know what to do. And then let's flow. Inhale up and exhale over. Start your inhale, then start the movement. Start your exhale, and then start stretching through that side body. So you stay just behind your breath. Try that a couple more times. It's very grounding. Good. One more round, side to side, maybe a little deeper as your body starts to open up. Very nice. And then come back through center. Let's take the interlaced hands and just bring them into the back, the nape of the neck, and kind of lengthen the neck up with your hands. So you're stretching the skin, and then lift the head slightly. Press the head back into the hands and kind of start to squeeze the elbows up towards the ceiling. So you really feel that nice stretch through the shoulders. Nice support. And then release that. I love that. And let's take the blankets away if you're using them. And let's make our way onto hands and knees. You can actually use the blanket to cushion the knees. I'm going to do that myself. And then finding a tabletop, and we'll start to move in through the hands. So bring the hands and face them all the way back. You may have to bring your knees in a little bit. If it's been a while since you've done this, you might feel a little tight. But the great thing about this one is that the more you do it, the easier it gets. And I know that's true with a lot of things, but I really notice it with this one. And then you can either hold the static posture or you can circle around into the hands, the palms. Just basically do what feels good for you guys. And then we'll just start to soften. Soften in the mind, soften in the face. Soften in places you are a little hard and a little critical. We all go through that. All right, then let's turn the hands back around. Bring your knees together, feet together. Curl your toes under. And then just take a little movement forward and back just to start to wake up those toes and the muscles and tendons all underneath the feet. And then if it's comfortable for you, you can sit right on top of the heels. But if it's not and you feel more comfortable with your hands forward, yeah, this could be a little sharp. So maybe it's just better to be here. So you just decide where is your best place, where it's medicinal and helpful, not causing more tension. Just take a few moments. Very grounding. If you're ever feeling kind of anxious or just a little unsettled, as we all go through, you can do these type postures where you're working with the feet, staying close to the ground, malasana, postures like that. Those are all really, really good to help ground you. Very effective. All right, let's come forward onto hands and knees again, and then just uncurl the toes, give them a little tap out. And then let's move through some cat-cows here. So we're gonna inhale, lift up across the chest, lift your tail, and then exhale, really ground through your hands as you round the spine to create more space in your upper back. Okay, let's do this a few times and just go ahead and find again your own dance. And we're gonna do this for another 45 seconds or so for a total of a minute. Doing cat-cow. Visualize the breath bathing the entire spine, top to bottom. Enjoy it as a meditation in movement. And then we'll do one more round. And then we'll come into a really nice child's pose. You can open the knees wider if you like. Bring your big toes together. And then think of stretching from fingertips to tail. So bring your arms way forward, pop up onto your fingertips, and push the hips back. At the same time, you're reaching the arms forward. And you can let your head rest if that's comfortable. Keep the breath very deep. You're filling up the side body as well as the back body. And then with all this lovely length, let's walk the arms over to the right, but try not to lose any of that length that you've created. In fact, exaggerate that left arm even further out, and then just sink back into the hips, the ribs. And let's really practice not judging our worth by what we can and can't do in our yoga practice. This is self-care. It doesn't matter what you can do. What matters is how you do. What kind of quality are you working with? And then let's come back through center, and then we'll walk all the way over to the other side. Being so grateful for what your body's able to do. You know, there's a lot we can do. Good, enjoy this. Another 2 breaths. See if maybe you can stretch that arm out a little bit longer. And then let's make our way back through child's and then come on up into tabletop. And then I'm going to have you curl your toes under and lift your hips up into down dog. And down dog is a really wonderful way to clear the slate. The nature of down dog is inward. It's very introspective. So make sure the hands are nice and rooted so you have a good solid foundation. And then if you notice the arms are kind of taking a lot of the weight, really press the weight back into the legs so the legs can do some of the work. And I really like a little wider down dog myself. You can slightly bend your knees to create a little more play in your upper back. And then speaking of Malasana, we're going to take Malasana. So bring the hands all the way back to walk back towards your feet. And then just drop your hips to your own degree. So you can be up high, you can be down low, somewhere in between. There's no right or wrong. Just meet yourself where you are. I think that's going to be the name of this class today. Meet yourself where you are. Let's take one more breath here and even just open up the mouth here. Sigh it out. Very good. And then hands down, lift your hips up. Walk your feet in so they're about hip distance, and then you can reach for opposite elbows if that feels good, or bring your hands onto the floor or blocks. But just let your upper body relax. Let the head go. And then hands on your hips, we're going to make our way up to a stand. So press down through those feet. Come up with a nice flat back. And then we'll take the hands behind. I'm going to face you here back. Bring your hands on your low back, fingers facing down like you're putting them in your back pocket. And then you'll notice the tendency is to kind of collapse the side body. So I'm going to have you really lift up side body, back body. The front body's already lifted, but get the back body and the side body so you're filling up like a giant a cylinder. Lifting up, and then start to press the chest forward and up as you start to go back slightly. Press into your hips a little bit. Feels good. And then come back up through neutral. Now interlace the hands, stretch the arms back. And then we're same thing. With the hands interlaced, bring your thumbs on your sacrum. And you're going to notice, whoa, I had to sink to get that. So once you have that connection of thumbs to sacrum, then you can re-lift, reopen the torso like a cylinder. And squeeze the elbows back slightly. So for me, the first time I did this, whoa, it's pretty strong in the shoulders. So don't be surprised if you're feeling that. Just breathe through it. As long as you can, have somewhat of a smile. It's like, whew, that's a good sensation. And then now we'll stretch the arms back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bend your knees a lot, and put your ribs, your belly on your thighs. Lift the arms up, let the head drop down. Just get a nice sweet shoulder stretch, neck stretch. And I'll tell you, interesting about this one, you can play with this. I like to do what's called the flossing technique. Allow your shoulders just to drop towards your ears so you have no neck. And then do the opposite. Lift the shoulders up, stretch the crown of your head down. So now you have a nice long neck on all four sides. And then just do that a couple times. Collapse the shoulders down and then reach the shoulders up. It feels so good.
flossing out that tension that's chronic in the neck and shoulders. Stay in your forward fold, please. Bring the hands to your sacrum and then just release the fingertips gently towards the earth. On your next inhale, draw the chest out away from the pelvis. Pelvis presses back. Get nice and long. And then exhale, fold in a little deeper. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, draw some length and space. And then exhale, nice and slow. And fold. Good. And let's walk your hands back out into plank pose, upper push-up position. And we're going to hold this one, you guys, just for a minute. You're already into it. So less than a minute here. I'm just going to build a little bit of heat, a little strengthening. Wonderful pose, holding your own body weight. Make sure the navel is in and up. So the kidney area should be kind of full. Create a nice fullness through the kidney band. And you only have 30 seconds left, a little less than. Good, stay with it, especially if it gets a little challenging. Breathe deeper. 3, 2, and then take those knees down. Very good. Take a child's pose, but this time with the arms draping back alongside the body, forehead down. And just let those shoulders roll forward and rest for a moment. It feels good, right? To feel that heat, that blood, that energy that's rushing through the shoulders from holding your own body weight. Now stretch the arms forward into that nice extended child's pose, and then inhale back up into table, and this time lower all the way down to your belly, however you can get there. And come into Sphinx pose. Bring the elbows underneath your shoulders, spread the hands, spread your toes. Put some energy into those legs. And then think of opposite. Think of the legs stretching away from the pelvis and the heart stretching up and away from the pelvis. So they're going in opposite directions to create some space. Chest is reaching forward and up, legs are stretching back. Very nice for the low back. This is quite therapeutic, you guys, so it's a wonderful pose. For any kind of lower back malaise. And then let's come all the way down onto the belly, and we'll stretch the upper body, shoulder. Reach the right arm out alongside your shoulder, so reaching straight out from your shoulder. And then walk it out, and stack your hips. Let the head rest. Those of you that want to go a little stronger, you can lift the left leg up, bend your knee, and take it way over to the right, maybe touching your toe, like you're dipping it into the pool. Maybe you can even get your entire foot flat, knee facing up towards the ceiling. So it's going to be different for everyone. Just do what you can. Favor what feels good. And then very gently release, and we'll just do that same thing on the other side. Take your time coming out of these little stronger postures, because they're a lot stronger than you think sometimes. Good. And then do you notice any difference from the right and left side?
you guys, and then go ahead and transition back onto your belly. And then let's do wide cobra flow. So bring your fingertips out, probably right off of your mat, elbows high. Now remember your legs, keep them anchored, and then as you inhale, peel the chest up. But use minimal in the arms and shoulders. You're really using your spine strength and leg strength. And then exhale nice and slow, one vertebra at a time as you come down. Good. Keep that flow going. Inhale, peel up, just to your own degree. And then exhale, rolling down, articulating the spine. Let's do 2 more. Cobra flow. Use the legs. Very energizing and very supportive for the spine. So good to me. It's like a big body yawn. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push back through child's just briefly. And then let's come back into down dog. Root those hands as you lift the hips up and back. Pedal through your feet. Get the hips to sway a little bit. And then come back down onto the knees, please. And we'll do a little hip opener here. Stretch your right leg straight back behind you, right in line with your hip. So you're gonna lift the leg up. And then bring your left toes all the way over to the right. And bring your right leg all the way over to the left. And then hook your knees. So that you have, this is called Gomukhasana legs, if those of you remember what that looks like, that will help. But the knees are really close, sealed together. The feet move away from each other. Kind of awkward. And then just start to press the hips back until you feel a stretch. And then come back forward again towards your wrist. So just do that a few times. My knee actually does lift up off the mat here when I press my hips back. So don't force it to be anything different. Just go with it. Push back and forth. You just want to feel a nice stretch in the outer hip. Good. One more time. Now stay back there. Just hang there. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Okay, so I hope this isn't going to be too hard for some of you, but curl your toes under and then just pop up. Your feet, your toes are facing in and your heels are facing out. And then this is where you may want to bring in a couple of blocks or something to place your hands on them. Hopefully they're close by. So the left leg is still in front of the right. And you'll feel this outer hip stretch, probably places you didn't know even had muscles. Good. And try to get your entire foot, both feet, sealed to the mat. And then we're going to come up from here. So bring your hands on your hips and press up to this awkward Tadasana. Okay, with one foot in front of the other. Very interesting, isn't it? And now bring the arms out and up, big breath in. Grab a hold of your right wrist, give yourself a little tug, and sway very gently to the left. So you're gonna feel that nice opening on the front right side body, front body. Good. Come back up through center, and then we'll take the left wrist, lengthen up, or right wrist. No, wait, left wrist, yeah. Reach up and over. You're going to feel one side definitely more stretchy than the other. And then come back up through center. And then we're going to swan dive all the way back down again with this funky leg position. Uncross your legs. Take the feet out to the width of your mat and take a squat pose. Ha. So that's an interesting one. Gets in the hips, ankles, and all kinds of different muscles. So just go slow with it. And then we're gonna come down to the hands and knees again, tabletop. And we'll stretch that left leg straight back, toes facing down. Now bring your right toes all the way to the left and bring your left leg all the way over to the right, and then hook your knees. So you're sealing those knees together. Move the feet a little bit away from each other, the best you can. And then just start that movement of pushing back and forth. This will surprise you. You're probably gonna have your right hip shifting way forward if you're tight. So just keep trying to press that right hip back. I like to exhale through the mouth, especially when working with the hips. Then the next time that you're stretching back, just go ahead and stay back there for a couple breaths. And it's okay if this is really awkward for you and it might be new, so just give yourself some time to acclimate to the shape. And then we're going to come forward onto hands and kind of weird knees. Curl the toes under. And then we're going to pop up with those legs crossed. Toes face in, heels shift out. And then trying to get the entire feet sealed. You can take your hands on blocks again, or maybe stay up on fingertips. But try to relax here, relax. And then from there, hands on your hips, we're gonna press down and come up. I hope you guys are doing okay with this. Let's reach the arms up, inhale. The first time I did it, it was really surprising. Take a hold of the right wrist, reach up out, and stretch to the left. Inhale, back up through center, grab a hold of the left. Lengthen up and sway to the right, just until you feel that stretch. Good. Back up through center, swan dive all the way down, and we're going to follow this with another Malasana. So uncross the legs and squat down. So Malasana is one of those postures that's incredibly good for our longevity, for our health, our well-being, our longevity. Keeps us younger longer. Not that we're trying to stay young because it's impossible, but it does help us to age more gracefully with more flexibility and agility. Plus it's really stimulating some pretty important nerves and glands. It's so good. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale and exhale through the mouth. And then take your hands down, lift your hips up. Walk your feet back in so they're hip distance. And then hands on your hips and press down to come up with a nice flat back. Very nice. Let's take the fingers on our shoulders. I'm going to face you. Elbows wide. And then as you inhale, bring your elbows together and up. And exhale back and down. So just continue that big circles with your breath. And then we'll reverse it, go the other way. Inhale, sweep out and up, forward and down. I have another interesting posture next. And then let's shake it out a little bit. Good. So we're going to take it out wide into goddess legs. So toes at a 45. And then your knees are going to bend, but you want to push those knees out. Don't let them cave in, but push them towards the pinky edges of your feet. And then inhale, sweep the arms up as you sit down a little deeper. Sweep the right arm underneath the left. Gayurasana, eagle arms. And just squeeze down into that chest there. So we're gonna work at targeting the upper body, opening up the stickiness that we get in our ribs. So really focus on separating your ribs from your pelvis when we do this. So we're gonna shift all the way over to the left side as if you're going towards the knee, and then sweep down towards the floor, over to the right knee, back up. And then this is where it gets important. Lift up the chest, lift up the ribs. And then exhale, circle back around. Down towards the floor, towards the right knee. Inhale as you sweep the elbows up. Open the ribs. Exhale, circle back down. Good, then coming back up through center. Stay with the legs, open up the arms wide into cactus. And then sweep the right arm right in front of the body and reach the left arm over the ear. But sink into the hips a little bit more. Try not to shift all your weight to the right. Back to cactus, inhale, open wide. And then exhale, sweep the left arm in front and reach over towards the left with the right arm. Bring more weight to the right. Good, back into cactus, inhale. Sit down a little deeper as you exhale. Nice, then inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up, full lungs. You can straighten the legs. And then exhale wide, elbows into the ribs, bend those knees. Good, 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale, maybe you can squat a little deeper. Just remember, you gotta come right back up. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. Good, now stay with the legs. Reach the arms up, inhale. And then sweep the left arm underneath the right. Cross, wrap, and twist. Good, you should feel your legs. Squeeze down, and now we're gonna shift to the right side. So notice the left knee does not go with me. Keep the left knee pressing out. And you don't have to come so low, you know? Go to your own degree. Don't force it. Lift up into the chest. And exhale, make that circle. Inhale up. Exhale down and around. 1 more time. Feels so good. Okay, and then come back through center. I know your legs are talking. Inhale, open wide cactus. Good, now sweep the right arm in front. Left arm sweeps over the ear. Bend those knees. Good, and then inhale, cactus. Exhale, sweep over to the left. Inhale, cactus, I know, I'm feeling you. And then reach up, straight legs and arms. Inhale here. Exhale, squat down, bend the elbows. Just 2 more. Okay, inhale, reaching. Exhale, squatting or sitting down deep. And then inhale up, good. Keep your legs straight and take the arms out wide. Turn your left foot so that your foot is parallel to the edge of your back of the mat. Turn your right toes forward. And then from here, triangle pose. Keep your legs nice and straight. And then take that right hand down, left arm up. You don't have to reach so far down on the leg. Some of you might be able to do that comfortably, and that's great. But feel free to modify. Find your happy place, even when you're a little challenged. Try to relax. Boy, is that a lesson for life, right? I love the metaphors in yoga. Okay, bend your right knee, come into warrior 2, and then take it into reverse warrior. Just reach back, nice opening into the side body again. And then come back up, straight legs and arms, and turn your right toes in now, left toes out. Yes. Firm the legs. Lengthen from your waist. Let's see how this side is. Triangle pose. I love this quote, your success measured, quote. Your success is measured by how much you can relax. That just hits you right between the eyes, doesn't it? Okay, then bend your left knee, come out warrior two. And then reverse that warrior, reach back. And then let's come back up, straight legs and arms. Turn your feet parallel. Lift up, inhale, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, come down, center stretch. Bend your knees if you need to. Bring your hands on blocks if you need to. Make it more accessible. Make it sweeter. Let your head go. Relax your upper body. But again, I'm going to say this again because it's important. It's okay to bend your knees here. You don't want to compromise the length of the spine to get your, length of the spine to get your legs straight. Keep the spine long, bend your knees as you need. Not a big deal. Exhale through the mouth if that helps you. It helps me. Very nice. And then let's lift up halfway. So you will probably need your blocks. You're going to walk over towards, your right foot. Turn your right toes to face towards the short edge of your mat. And this is where the blocks can be helpful on either side of your foot. And we're transitioning now into pyramid, so you know what we're doing. You can step the left foot up just a little bit, but you want about 3 feet distance between your feet. And you want the left toes to face in towards the right foot as much as you can. Keeping your heel down. Don't let the heel lift up. And now bring that right hip back in space so that left hip can shift slightly forward and down. Lift up across the chest so your spine is long. And you can always bend that right knee a little bit. You can always lower all the way down over that leg. So again, just find your bliss here. Follow your bliss. Settling into the posture. Try to find some calm. Good. One more breath here, just to let go, release. Good, you guys. And very gently transition out. We're going to lift up halfway. And I'm going to, if you want, you can take your blocks. I'm taking my imaginary blocks with me. Over to the left. Turn your left toes to face towards the short edge of your mat. You might have to adjust your feet a little bit. So make sure the heels are aligned. So heel to heel. And even a little bit wider sometimes is nice, but just not too close. You don't want to be on a tightrope here. Okay, now you're dragging that left hip back. Seal the right foot to the floor. That's really important. Lift up on the inhale. Maybe you soften your left knee. As you exhale, you can lower down. Just take care of those knees. Invite in the calm. Exhale out the stress. Very good, you guys. Then let's move the blocks off to the side, or keep them close, but I want your hands to be planted on your mat, and we're going to step back into plank pose. Upper push-up position, and this time feet together, and we're going to roll to the toes, circle around and press through the heels, roll to the toes, press through the heels, roll to the toes, press through the heels.
So you're doing this kind of a little circle with your hips, but it feels good on your feet and ankles, and it makes you work your core a little bit harder. Let's go the other way, circle. Gotta keep those ribs knitted in. Circle, toes, heels, toes, heels. Very nice. And then we'll take the knees down, take a child's pose. You can keep it with extended child's, or you can take the arms back alongside the body, whatever feels good. Spending a little time honoring Mother, the Mother Earth, the Mother within each and every one of us. Even if you're a man, right? You have a nurturing side to you. And even if you've never had children biologically, you still have that quality. I'm sure someone looks up to you in some way. Good. And then from child's pose, we're going to take a seat and stretch your legs out in front of you for Dandasana, which is staff pose. And this is where you may want to put a blanket if you want to sit your hips up on. And a strap would be nice to have. So go get all that stuff before you get into the pose. Don't you love it when I have you tied up like a pretzel and I say, oh, and grab your blocks. Oh, that's nice, Shirley, that's great. Let me see if I can just make my arms turn into taffy. Okay, let's loop the straps around the insteps of your feet. And then I want you to think of this, or I invite you to think of this as being percentage-wise, 80% of the legs are working, only 20% in the arms. So don't over-pull, use your legs. And then inhale, find a long spine, strong legs. And as you exhale, just pull gently. But mostly it's the legs working. And then everyone's going to be different with this, right? If you're super flexible, you can take a block right out in front of your feet so that you get longer and you can reach around the block. And if you're just really struggling with that today, you can just bring your hands back. Because guess what? You guys are already in a forward fold just by the seat right here. You've already started the process, so you don't have to go further. And then if you do have that available, you can come down a little bit more, but just, meet yourself where you are. And take about 5 breaths here. Just settle in. I'll be quiet so you can just focus, concentrate. Just taking one final breath here. Very gently transitioning out. I like to take just a moment after coming out of that just to feel. There's a lot of sensation that comes rushing through the body after some of these postures. Good to kind of bask in that. And then let's slide the soles of the feet together. You're about a diamond shape rather than pulling your feet real tight. Just let them go out in front of you a little. And then hands on your legs somewhere, lift up out of the waist on the inhale, and as you exhale, start to come forward and down. Your spine will round at the very end, just allow it. And you can rest your head right on your feet if that's close, or you can take a block or two and place it on your feet, which I love to do. Stack your hands So wherever you are, just try to relax. Give yourself permission to not have to be doing something right now. I laugh because it's such a valuable lesson that I've learned and still learning. All right, let's come out of that now. If you find it hard to hold postures, it probably is an indication you need that type of practice a little bit more. Okay, let's take Janu Sirsasana. So stretch your right leg out and bring your left foot in towards the inner thigh. So your hips should be square, your legs at about a shape of an L. And then place the hands on either side of your extended leg. And you might stay right there. Firm the leg, flex the toes. Some of you might be able to go down further. Doesn't matter. Just feel something, breathe. Taking one more breath here. Maybe you can lengthen your spine a little bit more and then fold a little closer over that leg. And then inhale, you'll come up. So I'm bringing in one of my favorite poses. Stay here in Janu Sirsasana. I'm just going to face you. Take your leg a little wider. And then bring your left hand behind you. And then you're gonna sweep that right arm up. Your hips are gonna lift up. You're gonna reach back. You're supporting yourself on that left arm. Your right foot may be sealed to the floor with a nice straight leg. Little back bend, lift up, go back. My little flash dance move. And then sit right down. Don't tell me you don't know flash dance. I really dated myself there, didn't I? And then let's switch sides. So take that 90-degree angle first. Left leg out in front of you, right knee about L shape. So get kind of set, square off your hips. And then place your hands on either side of your left leg, flex the toes. You don't want this leg to go to sleep on you right now. There's a time and place for that, but not right now. Flex the toes, lift up, inhale. And then maybe exhale, come into it, or stay right there. Let your body give you the invitation to go further. And just feel what you're feeling. Where do you feel this? Where does it feel blocked? For me, it's the right mid-back. That's where I'm feeling it right now. I love this idea. If you follow the sensations in your body will tell you exactly what's going on. Right? So wherever you feel the sensation is where you're having some blocks. So breathe through that. We'll take one more breath here. Send it nice, nourishing breath. And then coming up, and now we'll take that leg a little wider. So the tendency, my left hip just lifted up. So just bring it back down. You're gonna lift it up in a minute, but first anchor, then take your right hand behind you. Keep the left leg active and sweep the arm up and press through the hips. Make sure that right shoulder is nice and secure, back and down. Reach back, go back, and then release back down. Whew. Good, now let's make your way onto your mat to where you have room to lie back. Actually, no, not yet. Take a seat. I forgot I wanted to do this today. So bring your feet to the width of your mat. You guys will love this. Bring your feet to the width of your mat. Hands back for support. And this is just gonna be like a hip rocking for a few times. So drop your knees
all the way to the right. Keep your feet slightly flexed, and you should clear your legs. You should not be landing on top of anything. And then come back up, inhale, and let your knees swivel to the other side. So your feet pretty much don't move, they stay to the outside of your mat, and then just go side to side a few times. It feels so good. You're stretching through that thigh bone to get more front body stretch. And then the next time that your knees are to the right, keep them to the right. And then lift up the left hand and bring it all the way around. So now I'm facing towards the back of my mat, and my hands are in a down dog shape. So think of, you're going to be doing down dog in the upper body. That's what it should feel like and look like. And then you're just going to start to draw some length to your spine, start to move those left ribs around very gently with your breath. It's a pretty deep twist, so take your time with it. Always drawing length before you twist. That's really important. Now this won't be for everybody, okay? You might be just fine where you are. Just let your spine unwind, enjoy it. Some of us might want to take a hold of that right wrist with the left hand and then use that to kind of pull a little more into that twist. So just go easy, go slow. And then very gently and carefully, you're gonna come back around to the center. Get your hips back. Square your feet back towards the outside of your mat, and then now drop your knees to the left. Lift up the right arm and bring it all the way around to face back. One side will be tighter than the other. Twisting is so good for our organs. So good to wring out and to move stagnation. In fact, it's part of the Pawanmuttasana series 3, I think it is. 3 is for the digestive series. Lots of twisting in the digestive series. And if you haven't taken a hold of that left wrist and you want to, you can do that. But always feel free to keep your hands firmly planted. Good, and then we'll unravel slowly. It's a pretty strong twist. Come back through center, and now make your way on your back and bend your knees, place the soles of the feet down. We're gonna do some bridge flow, dynamic bridging. So bring the arms alongside the body. Think of moving through each and every vertebra, so really connect to each one. As you inhale, peel the hips up, lift the arms up and all the way back. Your full lungs should bring you all the way in. And then exhale, placing one vertebra down at a time, hips and then arms land. And continue that. Inhale up and all the way back. And exhale, placing one vertebra down at a time. Do that 2 more times on your own. Enjoy the fullness of your breath. And then the next time you're down, we'll just stay down and then draw your knees into your chest. Let's go into frog circles. Bring the knees out to the side and around and back together. Big circles, and then go the other direction. Big circles. Good. Squeeze right knee in, left leg long. Squeeze down into that right hip. And then
switch sides. Right leg down, left knee in, squeeze into the left hip. And then we're gonna go back and forth a few times. So right knee in, left leg long, and then switch. Okay, so I want you to glue the small of your back down, seal the back to the mat, and you're only hovering that straight leg a couple of inches. You're not letting it come all the way down. So just keep moving the legs, squeezing into each hip. This is excellent for the health of your hips, and low back and digestion, all that. Keep going. Last 10 seconds. Working core a little bit too. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Hug both knees in. And then just let your knees drop to the right. Reach the left arm out to the left. And then come up and over to the other side. Knees drop left, reach out to the right. And then come back to center. Let's take a supported bridge now. Slide those blocks underneath. Or one block. Or if you don't have a block, a couple of pillows, cushion, that will work. So we'll stay right here with the knees bent just for a different kind of variation I'm going to work you through. So keep your knees bent and then cross the right ankle over the left knee and flex the right foot. So almost like a hook, your foot's almost hooked onto that left knee. And then push the right knee down gently and away from you. You're going to really feel this, the top of the thigh. Good, then very gently release, and we'll just go to the other side. Left ankle hangs off the right knee, flex that foot. That's the anchor, remember we talked about that. And then from that anchor point, you press the left knee down and away from you, gently. Good, then release that. And now if it's comfortable, you can straighten both legs. If it's not comfortable, then just keep your knees bent. What medication do you need, basically? What kind of medicine are you needing? Very nice, and then let's bend up the knees and then take your legs up, and we'll just hang the legs up. Reversing the blood flow here. Just circle out the ankles. It's nice. It helps to move any kind of stagnant fluid in the body and that settle in the joints. If you want to go and do a stronger inversion, you're welcome to lift your hips up and go into plow and then shoulder stand. But I'm going to stay right here with my hips on the block because this feels good for me right now. My neck is feeling a little bit sensitive. It's actually doing pretty well lately, but I do have a little sensitive spot. I think I slept wrong, so I'm just going to choose not to do plow pose today. I guess we do get a little wiser as we get older, right? We hope to, anyway. That's the idea. Good, and then go ahead and take the feet down. If you're in shoulder stand, you can come out of that, and we're all gonna come into fish pose. So Taking the hands underneath your hips a little bit for support, stretch the legs out, flex the feet, and then pop the chest up as you support yourself on your forearms, elbows. Allow the neck to lengthen back and not just hang in the shoulder basket. So keep some integrity there. And then releasing all the way down on your back for Shavasana. We made it. What a good practice today. At least I felt like it was. Look at me complimenting myself. It was a practice that I needed, so I hope it was in line with everybody. Okay, go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths here. Settling in, and then this is where you want to notice what has changed since you first started the practice this morning. What has changed? What has shifted? Maybe your perception.